Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Drux Malan. Welcome to Drux Malan Unboxing. Today I'm going to be talking about cruiserweight fight that's taking place at Emperor's Palace in South Africa here on Saturday night. And in action will be our own cruiserweight contender, Kevin Lerena. He's ranked in the top 10 in the world right now by Ring Magazine. And he's ranked as high as 5 by boxrec.com. So he is a world-class fighter. Now he was out for a while last year. He took about 7 months to recover from shoulder surgery. And then this year he came back against 15-0 German guy Arthur Mann. And he looked great. He stopped him in 4 rounds. Very impressive showing. It seemed like he found his punching power again. He was nicknamed the KO Kid when the knockouts dried up, and then he became Kevin Two Guns Lerena. Now he is taking on a guy from the Czech Republic, 7-0-1, Vasil Ducar. Now, Lerena's beaten some good opponents to get him on the level where he's at. Mickey Nielsen, undefeated at the time. Yuri Kalenga, hard-punching, tough guy. And also Dmitro Kucher. So, now he's fighting a guy that's got only 8 pro fights. Kevin is 22-1. Inexperienced, not a huge amateur pedigree or anything to speak of. He comes from a world of mixed martial arts, and he's had a boxing career of late. So it's a hard fight. I think at best you can describe this as a stay busy fight for Kevin Lerena. We would have liked to see somebody better, but you have what you have, and let's see what's going to happen on Saturday night. Now, Vasil Ducar, his only 2 fights in the boxing ring of note was his last 2 fights. He got a draw against a countryman for the vacant Czech title. And then in his last fight, he fought a guy called Samuel Kadji from France. And that guy was undefeated at the time, 12-0 with 10 knockouts. So the guy could punch a little bit, although he didn't have any names on his record. So nothing more than a prospect. And he was behind in that fight before coming from behind to stop Kadji in the 10th round. Now, I took a look at what footage I could find of Ducar. Style-wise, he's a very, very basic fighter. He comes in straight with his hands up like that. He does keep his hands up and he does keep his chin down, that bit he does, but it's very, very basic boxing. So, you hit him, he covers up and then he replies. Rinse and repeat, and that's how he goes through the fight. So you hit him, he hits you back. You hit him, he hits you back with 1 shot more. There's not really much of a jab to speak of, which I find a lot in guys making the transition from MMA to boxing. They're not so consistent in the jab. So he doesn't throw the jab, really. He comes in and he throws power punches. And then he covers up. When he gets hit, there's another thing of him, he goes back in a straight line. He keeps his hands up at least. But there's not a lot of side-to-side movements. His speed is average. What I do find, what is good about him, he does get stronger as the rounds go by. He looks better in the 10th round than he looks in the first 5 rounds. So he gets stronger as the rounds go by. That tells him he's a tough guy. His conditioning must be excellent. He looks the part. But his speed is also quite average. He's all his wins bar 1 have been by knockout. So maybe he's a puncher, maybe it's just an indication of a level of a position he's fought. I don't think he's a huge puncher, but he's obviously got some respectable power. Now for Kevin Lerena, he's got a lot more than that in his toolbox. He's definitely the quicker guy, he's more explosive. Power-wise, he's had double the fights that Ducar has had. So I think he hits harder simply because he hits faster and he's more explosive. He's much better on his feet. So I don't know what Ducar is really going to do. He has got to find a jab, I think, and he's got to use that jab to come in. And he's just got to go for it and see what he can do. Maybe catch Lerena unawares, because I don't want to be in Kevin Lerena's position here. It must be very hard getting motivated for this. He's used to a higher level of opponent. He's got nothing to win here except staying busy and a paycheck. He's got everything to lose. A loss will be disastrous. He's kind of in a situation, even though it's on a much smaller stage, that Anthony Joshua was in against Andy Ruiz. And just look at what happened there. So this is a kind of situation where you can slip on a banana peel, But Ducar is no Ruiz. Ruiz, despite his appearance, he had a very solid amateur pedigree and he had a solid pro career behind him as well, and he has competed at world class. Ducar is nowhere near world class in his career, so he's just rolling the dice here. What's going to happen? The general consensus seems to be that Lerena goes to a decision. If he fights that box and move way where he doesn't go in for a kill, as we've become accustomed, then that's a smart prediction. He's going to pitch a shutout over Vasil Ducar. If not, if he's more aggressive like he's been against Arthur Mann and he really goes for it, I think unless Ducar has got an absolute anvil for a chin, and we don't know because he hasn't fought at world level as a boxer, unless he's got an anvil for a chin and still manages to go the distance, I think he can stop Ducar. He's just too easy to hit. So if I was Kevin, I'd go in behind the jab, and I would work Ducar over and then step away, because as soon as you hit Ducar, you know he's going to come back with a combination. I've noticed that Ducar, he likes to lead with an uppercut. You know, when you throw that uppercut, especially as a lead without setting it up, you can get countered, and Kevin is a good counter puncher, so that's an opening for Kevin Lerena's left hand there as well. Him being a southpaw, so he can look for that opening. My feeling is that Lerena is going to outclass Vasil Ducar. I think Ducar is tough enough and his conditioning is good enough that he's going to make it a bit of a fight for a few rounds. He's going to keep punching back, but I think at the end he's going to be taking so many flush shots from Lerena. Somewhere by around the 6th round, I think the referee is going to jump in and stop this. Either way, it's a fight that's fair for Lerena to lose. Now, they say that Kevin Lerena is currently the only world champion at cruiserweight. We're talking about the IBO world title that he holds. That's sort of a marginal title. It's not really recognized outside of South Africa or in the greater boxing world, although a lot of well-known people have got that belt tag on, usually unified champions. And that's not, but you know, also we have got Christoph Glowaski, who's fighting Marius Brieders next week in the World Boxing Super Series in Latvia. He is the WBO champion. He was interim champion. He's been elevated now, but Alexander Usyk has moved up to heavyweight, so there's a lot of vacant belts. And of course, next weekend we're also going to have Junior Dorticos, a Cuban, going up against Andrew Tabiti, the lone American cruiserweight, in that other semi-final. And we'll have, I call him our own, he's from the Democratic Republic of the Congo, but he's trained here by Damian Duran. We have Ilunga Makabu going up against Dmitry Kudrashov in Russia in a WBC eliminator. So lots of action at the cruiserweights. We hope that Kevin looks impressive, gets this little stop around the road against Vasil Ducar out of the way, and hopefully we can see him in something meaningful next for a major world title. I'm talking WBA, WBC, IBF or WBO, something just a little bit better than the IBO title. So folks, please tell me what you think about the upcoming Lerena Ducar fight. Am I completely sleeping on Vasil Ducar? Is it a mismatch? Is it a good fight? What do you think? Also, what do you think about the IBO? Should the IBO be recognized as a major world title? Is it unfair that they don't carry that recognition? Tell me what you think in the comment section. Also, please give this channel a like and a subscribe and share to your friends if you find it interesting. I'm also a South African correspondent for Ring Magazine, the Bible of Boxing. That's obviously, the print magazine is out on the newsstands in the UK and in the States. If you're sitting in South Africa, it's sometimes hard and expensive to get hold of a print magazine. You can go to www.ringtv.com and subscribe to the digital version for $1.99. And you can download the entire magazine on your electronic device. It's instant, it's quicker, and it's a lot cheaper as well.